Okay, before we get down to business and actually talk some baseball, I want to express my thoughts and prayers towards Dave Gardner and his family. He's got some issues. Dave is okay, but his mom's got some issues going on, and it's a very scary time for them. Um, and so I'll have a story sometime during the game about something that I did for him. Not to toot my own horn, but it does get rather funny because you'll see know it. But if you think, keep him in your thoughts and good wishes as the day goes along, and we're hoping for the best, buddy. And hang in there, it'll get better. And this week on the E, which normally appears on this time on his channel, will appear. Well, it did appear today because I did it early, but we're hopefully everyone will be back next week. Now, on to the program. The St. Louis Cardinals and Atlanta Braves hook up for a 4-game set at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium, and the Braves on Thursday night drew first blood 5-4. The Cardinals, Ozzie Smith and Tito Landrum drove in a run apiece in the second to make it 2-0. Then Bob Horner slammed a solo shot in the bottom of the inning to make it 2-1. Ken Oberkfell, the Cardinals' third baseman, has a 15-game hitting streak. At the fifth, Atlanta tied the game on a Bruce Benedict solo shot to make it 2-2, which also extended his hitting streak to 12. At the eighth, the Cardinals thought they had pulled it out. Mike Ramsey singled to score Gonzalez to take a 3-2 lead. And then Bob Forsch, that Bob Forsch doubled to score Mike Ramsey to make it 4-2. But back came the Braves. Chris Chambliss wins it on a 3-run shot in the eighth. They win 5-4. Rick Kemp gets the 2 win. Al Hrabosky gets the save. Bob Forrest takes a hard luck loss as St. Louis is hard charging. They're trying to chase down Montreal. Well, Atlanta hangs in there against the Braves. Who's going to win today? As Retro Sports Network presents Snowmageddon Baseball, the Atlanta Braves and St. Louis Cardinals from Friday, May 14th, 1982. Tonight, Joaquin Andahar against Phil Niekro. I guess we picked the right game to do.
Play ball!
It's a beautiful night for baseball here in Atlanta. 82 degrees. There is absolutely no wind. They call it Hot Atlanta for a reason. And the Braves are 16-16. The Cardinals are 20-13. And you got the Aces going tonight. You got Joaquin Andahar going for the Cardinals. And the Angels, Phil Niekro, boy, that's just a nasty picture you'll see in a second, going for Atlanta. So we got a good one for you. Actually, I think a rematch of Game 1 of the National League Championship Series. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. And yes, when time permits, have I got a story for you. But as we flip around some windows, thanks, Sports Time Machine. 6-7 inches of snow for Clinton Park. Hello. We got about 8 or 9. We had 6 when I woke up, and it snowed hard from about 8 to 10. So this morning. So hopefully everyone is safe and dry and all that. And let's get to the game. Phil Niekro on the hill for Atlanta. 0-1 on the year, a slow start, a 5.40 ERA, 21 2/3 innings, 26 hits, 4 homers, allowed 4 walks and 11 strikeouts. This is only next season, 5th start. As we are working our way through week 6 of the season, he threw against the St. Louis Cardinals on the 8th, so last Saturday. 7 innings, 8 hits, he allowed 3 runs, all earned. He didn't walk anybody and struck out 4. To make his numbers better. His first game of the year was where he took his loss. That was against San Diego. And this is the lineup that he will face. It is Lonnie Smith in center. Leading off, Ozzie Smith will play short. No bad second. Keith Hernandez is at first. He'll bat third. When do we get Willie McGee? George Hendricks will clean up at right. One of the York brothers is in left. He'll bat fifth. Daryl Porter, lots of lefties in this lineup for St. Louis. We'll catch him at sixth. Kid Oberkville, sitting on a 15-game hitting streak, will play third and bat seventh for Whitey Herzog. Cardinals, Mike Ramsey, second baseman, will bat eighth, and Andahar, the pitcher, will bat ninth. Defensively for Hotlanta, it'll be Wissington in left. He's a 2 and a 1. I don't remember him. Some people probably do. Dale Murphy is in center, a 10 and a 4. Claudel Washington, a 4 and an 8 to right. Bob Horner is at third. He's a 3. Rafael Ramirez is a 9 at short. Glenn Hubbard is at second. Chris Chambliss is at Hubbard's an 8 at second. Chambliss is 7 at first. And Biff Pocoroba, the specialized catcher for Necro, was a 3 and a 2. Clinton, can you hear me or no? It's Clinton watching on the silent. How you doing, OG? So in steps Lonnie Smith on this Friday night snowstorm special. 336 on the year, 2 homers and 18 RBI. And Nuxie is ready to go. And we start with a ground ball to Ramirez. Gotta hurry, long throw to Chambliss. And that's an out. So 1 out on that 63-mile-an-hour knuckler. Here's Ozzie Smith. He's at 266 with 15 RBI. The pitch from Phil. There's a little nubber down to Ramirez on the grass. Long throw to Chambliss is in time. And so that grass in Atlanta, just like it is in Detroit, a little bit longer in the infield to give some of the Braves runners a chance to get an extra step or two. But that kind of works against you when you get one of those little nubbers that just kind of go through and don't hit the dirt. Here's Keith Hernandez at 307, 3 homers and 18 RBI. Necro's pitch, got him. He looked at a 2-2 curve for strike 3, so nothing across for the Cardinals. We go to the bottom half of the first. It is St. Louis nothing, Atlanta coming up. And so Joaquin Andujar's ERA is in very good shape, but the win and loss record is 2-3. With in 55 innings, he's allowed 45 hits, including a home run. He has 2 complete games in the 7 starts. This is his 8th start. He went on the 9th, which I believe was Sunday. Went 7 2/3 innings in a win in St. Louis against these Braves. Allowed 10 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. That was 22 strikeouts on the year. And the ERA, as I said, is now 2.45. Atlanta lines up like this. Claudel Washington will lead off. Glenn Mother Hubbard will bat second. Chris Chambliss will bat third. Dale Murphy cleans up in center. Bob Horner will bat fifth and play third. Wissington, the lefty, will hit sixth. Biff Pocoroba will bat seventh. Rafael Ramirez will hit 8th, and then Phil Necro, who threw 125 pitches, or he can throw 125 pitches, threw 13 in the first, will bat 9th. Behind Andahar, it is Dane Orb, who's a 6 and a 2 in left. Lonnie Smith, a 3 and a 6 in center. George Hendrick, a 5 and a 6 in right. Ken Oberkville's a 6 at third. Ozzie Smith, a perfect 10 at short. Mike Ramsey, an 8 at second. That's very good. No Tommy Hurd tonight. And Keith Hernandez, who you can't see there, is a 10 at first. Daryl Porter, a 4 and a 5. That's pretty average behind the plate. Washington at 291. 6 homers and 13 RBI. Helps to have the mouse in the right spot. Pitch from Andahar is a ground ball to Hernandez. And it goes foul. It took a funny hop. Hernandez was going to play it, and it bounced the right way. So now the ball count is no balls and 2 strikes. And a hard pitch, ball 4, he lost it. On an 0-2 count, and went to a 3-2 count, and the payoff pitch was just outside. And so that brings up Glenn Hubbard. 309, 3 homers, and 19 RBI. Joaquin's ready, and Hubbard pop-up left side. Org. And he can't play it. How about that? So he dropped it. was kind of more of a rainmaker out there, and the org just, I don't know if he lost it in the lights. There's no wind. I guess the sun's probably setting a little bit there, so the sky is kind of that dusky color, which makes baseballs kind of hard to pick up. And anyway, Washington's on second, Hubbard's on first for Chambliss. Chambliss at .314, 5 homers and 24 RBI. Pitch from Andujar. There's a little liner in the left. On to Smith on the grass, and he makes the catch. 1 out. This was kind of the way that Fulton County Stadium looked in 1982. Except the full scoreboard was in left where the out-of-town board is, not in right. And it was one of those stadiums that had a cyclone fence. Chain link and posts. But that was just wonderful to run into. And with the logos on the wall. Here's Dale Murphy at .301, 9 homers, 27 RBI. 2 on, 1 out, bottom of the first. And a hard pitch, and Murphy lines that one right to Ozzie Smith. A overkill, pardon me. A frozen rope, and they're 2 out. For Bob Horner at .310, 7 homers and 23 RBI. Great start for Horner. Andujar delivers, popped up, left side. Overkill and Smith are there, and Overkill hauls it in. No runs, no hits, and 1 error. Doesn't hurt Andujar after 1. St. Louis nothing, Atlanta nothing. So George Hendrick, Van Org, and Darrell Porter to face Nico here in the second. George, a slow start. .240, 7 homers, and 18 RBI. Nico delivers, and Hendrick will take first. He got plunked. And the 0-2 knuckler just got him on the arm. You know, that's the funny thing about a knuckler is the pitcher doesn't know where it's going, the catcher doesn't know where it's going, heck, even the ball doesn't know where it's going. Here's Org at .299 and 15 RBI. Hendrick not a threat to steal, although he's corner to Hubbard to Chambliss, and they go around the horn for a double play. Didn't even have time to get that out, huh? Here's Darrell Porter. Darrell, a very good start, .267, 4 homers and 17 RBI. Pitch from Negro was a little looper into center field. That's going to drop in front of Murphy, and the Cardinals have the first hit of the ballgame. Let's see, what else can I tell you? Sports Time Machine did a Stratomatic college football game today between the Ohio State 73 team and the Michigan Wolverines of 1997. I think they're both national championship teams. I know Michigan's is. You can check that out on his channel. Did a good job with that. Here's Ken Oberkfell, 15-game hitting streak for Ken, 404 on the year, a homer and 8 RBI. Just makes that Cardinal defense in the infield all that much better. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. And so Negro missed on that one. 4 straight wide ones. And that brings up Mike Ramsey, who, if this baseball thing doesn't work out, looks like he could try out for Toto. .267, no homers, and 2 RBI. Runners on first and second, 2 out, top of the second. No score. Ramsey popped up right side. Hubbard under it, and that's the inning. So no runs, 1 hit, no error. The walk doesn't hurt. After an inning and a half, it's St. Louis nothing. Oh, another episode of the silent movie for Clinton. That's too bad because I got a story coming up that I think is pretty funny. It has nothing to do with the game itself. So someone might want to prompt him when I go on camera, and I'm going to try to do this about the middle of the 5th to let him know, because, like I said, this is pretty funny. Here's Larry Wissington. Larry at .333, 2 homers and 5 RBI. Andujar delivers, and Larry grounds that one up the middle. Ozzie on the grass, snap throw to Hernandez. Not in time. So Biff Pocoroba will bat. That's the first hit for Atlanta. Cardinals 20-13. They want to win. They're chasing down the Montreal Expos. They're winning a couple games. Atlanta at 16-16, and I believe they are 3 behind the Dodgers. second place in the National League West. Pokeroba gave you his numbers. Wizardton isn't going anywhere, and there's a liner right to Ozzie Smith. Gets the glove on it, 1 out, and it brings up Rafael Ramirez. Rafael at 233, 2 homers and 13 RBI. Actually, his real numbers are quite good for a shortstop. 278, 10 homers. It's Tremandahar. Ramirez, ground ball to right back to Joaquin, to Ramsey for 1, over to Hernandez. Call it 2. St. Louis turns it, and that's why it's a pitcher's best friend. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 2, St. Louis nothing, Atlanta nothing. We go to the third, and Ahar, and then Lonnie and Ozzie Smith, no relation. Joaquin at 133 on the year, 2 for 15. And obviously swinging here with nobody on. It's from Negro, ground ball to third. Horner, long throw, Chambers, 1 out. So Negro only threw 32 pitches the first 9 batters. 2 1/3 innings, a 1 hit, a walk, a plunk, and a strikeout. So Negro will take that. Lonnie Smith's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. Little looper in the left. Wizardton is there. 2 out. Brings up the Wizard. Fozzie's 0 for 1. Negro delivers, and there's a ground ball to Ramirez. Over to Chambers to third for the out. And that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2.5 in the books here in Atlanta. 81 degrees on this sultry night in the south. St. Louis nothing, Atlanta nothing. OG, how is Snowmageddon for you? You know, we were kidding Devin on Saturday about all the attention getting to the 4 to 6 inches of snow around Seattle. But because I mentioned that, you know, you look through YouTube and get different recommendations. The TV coverage for that storm was amazing. It's like they've never seen snow before. Here's Phil Negro. He's 0 for 7 on the year. So I won't pick on Devin anymore. I mean, they really were quite stunned that it snowed that much. We got that overnight, about 6 to 8 inches.
Strike 3!
Strikes out. 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. So that's the first for Andahar. 40 pitches for him through his first 9. 2 1/3 innings, 1 hit, a walk and a strikeout, and then there's not a run on the board for anybody. Claudell Washington walked his first time up. Rained yesterday, so most of it's gone. How much are you expecting tonight? Devin says we haven't seen that much snow in decades up here. Yeah, I mean, they were, I don't want to say petrified, but stunned would be the couple reports I watched from KING. They were pretty thrown by it. Washington walked his first time up. Pitch from Andahar, up the middle. Ozzie Smith from his knees, throws to Hernandez to get him. What a wonderful play. Smith dove to his right by the bag at second and just made that perfect throw to Hernandez, and there's 2 out for Glenn Hubbard. It's been 50 years, Devin says, since we've had this much snowfall in a month. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Tomorrow is the 12th anniversary of one of the biggest storms we had all time here. On Valentine's Day, we got 27 inches. And that is 4th all time. We had one last year that dumped 31 over a day and a half. Here's Hubbard, he's 0 for 1. There's the pitch. And there's a looper in the left center. That's going to go down. Hubbard will round first, and that's the second hit of the game for Atlanta. And they'll bring up Chambliss, who's 0 for 1. And Ahar, adjusting the gloves and stuff around. Hubbard not going. Chambliss ground ball to Ozzie, to Ramsey for 1, and that's all they need. So 6-4 on the 4th. We've played 3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. It's still the Cardinals nothing and Atlanta nothing. Oh yeah, OG says, so we don't have gear to deal with this much snow. No, not after 50 years worth. We never need it, and we're very, very hilly. Those are nightmares to deal with. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, buses don't run here when we get more than 6 inches just because Burlington is so hilly. You can't get up them. And nothing's laid straight here either. I want to go to the store and go through some turns and a roundabout and a 5-way stop. Ew. And Clinton, who's kind of watching on silent, seeing in the chat, I wonder how much ice he got. I know Al got some ice down in his neck of Massachusetts. Keith Hernandez struck out his first time up. Niekro delivers and will come back right back to Phil over to Chambers for the out. So 1 out, George Hendrick, who was hit by a pitch his first time up. Niekro in full control early. Got him! He caught the outside corner on a 2-2 pitch. That's the second strikeout for Niekro when there's 2 out here in the 4th. For Dane Oregon, who grounded into a double play his first time up. Oh yeah, pine trees. Yes, they do. And those needles are just nasty. And as Devin says, power lines and blocking roads. Yeah, no, okay, I get it. I get it. But I think if you looked at I think it's latitude that goes north to south, right, from the equator. From Seattle to most of New England, it would be pretty much the same. And so it's unusual that you guys just don't get it. And of course, we get a lot of it. In Burlington, the average is 75 inches a year. And I think that's gone up in recent years. Or little number down to Horner, long throw over to Chambers at first, and that will retire the side. So Niekro's cruising right along after 3.5. It's still St. Louis nothing, Atlanta nothing. And it'll be the heart kind of the Braves order: Murphy, Horner, and Wissington. Okay, and the OG, now playing weatherman, says the warm waters of the Pacific keep a lot of the snow away from us. I know, we have the Lake Champlain out there. Murphy, by the way, is 0 for 1. Aren't the rest of you guys enjoying this chat? And that usually that works like a blanket even in the wintertime. So on a storm that we'll get 6, the town, 5 miles from us will get about 7 or 8. And then my mother, who's about 30 minutes and up on the side of a mountain, will double what we get normally. I think we got more snow this time. And so send your cards and letters to the Weather Channel. And the high starts the bottom of the 4th with Murphy putting that one down the line and left. He's going for 2, and he's in, but he's hurt. He turned an ankle. He was looking for 3. We'll watch it here in the replay, and he rolled his ankle in the process. He says he's fine, and so Joe Torre will leave him in the game. But if you watch, he just ripped that one down the line. He started for 3rd, and that was it. And so he's flexing that ankle. Bob Horner's 0 for 1. And Ohio delivers, and there's a little number up the middle. Ozzie Smith throws over to Hernandez at first, and Horner is retired. Murphy has enough get up and go to make it to 3rd. And so there's a runner on Murphy on 3rd, 1 out for Wissington. Larry singled his first time up. Pitch from Andahar. There's a base hit left side. Atlanta's on the board. Murphy scores from 3rd, and it's 1-0 Braves. So that brings up Pocoroba, who's 0 for 1. Andahar's pitch. That's a number. Ramsey to Ozzie for 1 over to Hernandez. And because Pocoroba has no speed, they turn 2. But the Braves get on the board first. A run. Dale Murphy stays in center. For the moment, he's now a 7-4 out there. 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors. After 4, it's Atlanta 1, St. Louis nothing. What's up with Snowmageddon? Well, that's what they were calling this, weren't they? Winter Storm Maya or something like that? How you doing, Dave? So Daryl Porter, 1 for 1 to start the top of the 5th quarter. Oberkfell and Ramsey for the Cardinals. He singled his first time up. Opposite field, Withington, 1 out. So here's Oberkfell. How much did you get, Dave? So Ken Walker's first time up, sitting on a 15-game hitting streak. And Mr. Computer says the batting average in this at-bat's 260. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to Horner. Bad play. He got a late jump on it, and that hitting streak is now 16. Didn't even throw it. Oberkfell gets an infield single, and the Cardinals have a runner on with 1 out for Mike Ramsey, who's 0 for 1. Necro. Oberkfell runs. The throw down to Rafi, not in time. So that's the 5th for Oberkfell. 3 to 4 wet inches. Ew. The wet stuff I don't like. It's a pattern here, and then it changed a bit to freezing rain overnight. Here's Mike Ramsey, tying run on second, top the 5th. Pitch from Necro, ground ball up the middle. Ramirez throws to Chambliss at first, and he's safe. So everybody's safe. Oberkfell holds at second, and the 2 infield hits for St. Louis. So Chambliss and Horner come in for Andahar, who surely will try to drop one down here with 1 out. Runners go, throw down to Horner, has to go back, and they got him. My goodness. And so the Cardinals get aggressive. I like that. Their Braves are playing in for the bunt, and instead Oberkfell and Ramsey tried the double steal. And so Horner had to go back to make the tag. That was a good throw down by Pokerova, who does not have a good arm. But you can steal on the knuckler. And now the infield will play back for 2 out. Wow. Pitch from Necro. Ramsey goes on contact. Horner over to Chambliss, and that retires the side. And so the Cardinals run themselves out of an inning. Halfway home, no runs, 2 hits, and no errors. Story time coming up for Uncle Ron after 4.5. It's Atlanta 1, St. Louis nothing. And so it's true confession time here on the channel. Normally Wednesdays at lunch, we're doing this week on the E on Dave Gardner's channel, and as I said in the open, Dave's got some things going on, and so I went and taped it in advance for him. And so Monday night wasn't doing much of anything, and so I said, I'll just do this for him. No problem. Got it done in about 12 minutes, had made sure that the sponsors were set up properly, and the couple share screens were set up in XSplit so I could just hit buttons and pause and all that, and got a good first take, I thought, and then I went back to watch it. And you know, sometimes you don't realize that you have friends in places you don't want them. Well, I had a nice Mr. Booger in full view of the camera, and I thought I could get away with just that one take. No, it was pretty obvious that Mr. Booger wanted to say hi, and so I watched the rest of it, and by the time I came back from one of the cutscenes, Mr. Booger had disappeared, and so I could use the second half of the show. So I cut out the second half, saved it as a separate file, redid the first, tried to repeat the same jokes. I thought I had merged the two together properly, sent it off to Dave, and he says, well, you cut something off. That was kind of news to me, and I cut off a word or two at the end. Well, somehow in the process, my editor kind of ate the second half of video, and so the last 4 minutes didn't get synced. The file says it's a 12-minute video, but there's only 7 minutes of video. When I played it back on the computer, there's 12 minutes of great audio, 7 minutes of video, and that's why you children, you should always check your work and check your face so friends like Mr. Booker don't show up. On that note, we go to the bottom of the 5th. Atlanta 1, St. Louis nothing. The joys of video editing. So Andujar will face Ramirez, Niekro, and Washington here in the bottom of the fifth. Ramirez grounded into a double play his first time up. Pitch from Andujar is a ground ball left side. That got in between the hole, and Rocky's on with a hit. So Phil Niekro's in a situation where he'll bunt. And so Hernandez and Obertville come in on the corners. And Niekro gets the bunt down. Porter throws to second. Ozzy's there over to first. And Niekro beat it out. So the sacrifice fails. It goes down as a fielder's choice. 1-6. Not a good bunt. And so instead of having the speedy Ramirez on base, you have the pitcher who's got the jacket on a 79-degree night. Through 18 batters, Joaquin Andujar, 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits. The lone run of the game that was there, and he walked one and struck out one. And Claudel Washington 0 for 1 with a walk. Oh, Clinton, run like crazy as Whitey's Cardinals. They did that and got in trouble in the top of the fifth inning. Andujar's pitch, and there's a ground ball to Ramsey. To Ozzy for 1. They'll never get Washington. And no throw. So runner on first again. 2 out now, and so the Cardinals will trade outs for runners on first for Glenn Hubbard. 1 for 2. He's got a single. How you doing, Todd? Pitch, and there's a base hit left side between Smith and Obertville. Washington goes to third. Hubbard on first. Runners in the corners for Chambliss, who's now 0 for 2. 1-0 Atlanta. And for Atlanta, they need to string some wins together. 16-16. The Cardinals are 20-13. They're both chasing. Cardinals are chasing the Expos, and Atlanta's chasing the Dodgers. I think well, I can show you. Montreal, 2-game lead over St. Louis, but that's 4 games in hand. And Atlanta is 3.5. They've lost 7 out of their last 10. Detroit and California with double leads in the American League. Red Sox and Royals tonight, by the way, 7 o'clock. Pitch to Chambliss. Popped up. Right side. Ramsey in foul territory. Makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors. I edit the uniforms to make the home team with a white background. Yeah, if I wanted to do that, I could, but I got the uniforms up on the top of the screen. After 5, Atlanta 1, St. Louis nothing. And so it'll be Lonnie Smith, Ozzie Smith, and Keith Hernandez. Through 18 batters from Niekro, 63 pitches, 5 innings, 3 hits, no run, a walk and 2 strikeouts. Lonnie's 0 for 2. Pitch from Niekro. Smith, down ball to Ramirez, long throw to Chambliss. Lonnie's got speed, and he got him by an eyelash. Ramirez just made a strong throw. He went to his right and just gunned one right across, and there's 1 out. For Ozzie, he's 0 for 2. A pitch, another ground ball to Ramirez. This time he got a late jump on it, and Ozzie beats it out. So Ramirez giveth, and Ramirez taketh away. And there's 1 out for Hernandez. Keith is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Throw to first. Ozzie's out. They got him. When you have a running team, sometimes you can get careless. And Niekro just chucked one over, and Ozzie was caught napping. 2 out. And nobody on now for Hernandez. Pitch from Niekro. Ground ball to Hubbard. Over to Chambliss, and that retires the side. And so after 5.5, it's Atlanta 1, St. Louis nothing. So Murphy who's still feeling the effects of turning his ankle his last time up, doubled and scored. The lone run, but he was thinking triple and stopped too soon. Pitch from Andahar, and there's a ground ball to the Wizard over to first, and he beat it out. So I guess you can't complain too much about his ankle. He scored his last time up and just beat out a good throw by Ozzie Smith for a single. Here's Bob Horner. Now, if Horner's beating out infield hits, he got some trouble. He's 0 for 2. Yeah, Keith Hernandez. Newman, and Kramer's favorite player. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Can't imagine it was their favorite player with the Cardinals. One of the best episodes of Seinfeld ever. Pitch to Horner as a fly ball to the left. Back goes Org. He'll turn and watch it go. So Horner makes it 3-0 on a shot to left. That's his 8th of the year. And it's 3-0 Atlanta. There it is again. Andahar just kind of hung that. And Horner made him pay. Org has good range. And it didn't matter. That found one of the pens out there. And the Braves go up by a 3 spot. For Larry Wissington. 2 for 2 with an RBI. Single twice. Pitch from Andahar. Popped up. Ozzie's calling for it. By the bag at second for the out. 1 out. Here's Biff Prokhorova. Biff is grounded into a double play. He's 0 for 2. So Niekro, on the right side of a 3-0 lead, will face Hendrick, Oregon, Porter in the 7th. The pitch. Ground ball to Smith over to Hernandez for the out. That brings up Rafael Ramirez. He's 1 for 2. He is singled and grounded into a double play. 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Atlanta. They've stranded 5. Cardinals, no runs, 4 hits and an error. And they have left 3 on. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to left. Org in the corner. Out of play. So the count is no balls and 2 strikes to Ramirez. And a hard pitch. And there's a grounder to third. Overkill over to Hernandez. And that will retire the side. Not before the Braves get 2 more on the bomb by Horner. After 6, Atlanta 3, St. Louis nothing. McDowell was the secret spitter. Oh yeah, for the Mets. I'm thinking McDowell never pitched for the Cardinals. And Paul Lynde was never the secret square. Nor Joan Rivers. George Hendrick will lead off the 7th. He struck out and was hit by a pitch, not necessarily in that order. And the pitch is a right back to Niekro over to Chambliss for the out. So Niekro cruised it right over. No, it got away from Chambliss. Niekro threw high. He rushed it, and I wasn't paying that much attention. So he rushed the throw. Chambliss leapt and couldn't get it, and Hendrick moves up to second. So the infield defense has not been anything but a bag of chips tonight for Atlanta. Dane Org, the batter, 0 for 2. He grounded into a double play. Hendrick on second, following the bad throw by Niekro. Here's the pitch. There's a ground ball to Hubbard. Over to Chambliss for the out. Hendrick moves to third, and there's 1 out. Silent George. Yes, he didn't talk to anybody. And for a long time, wouldn't even play with a logo on his helmet. One of the classic channels on YouTube, one that uploads games. I don't want to say which one because I don't want to get them in trouble. Uploaded, I believe, the entire 82 postseason. And I was surprised in watching one of the games in Milwaukee during the World Series that Hendrick actually had the logo on his helmet. Darrell Porter's 1 for 2. With a single. Runner on third, 1 out. Niekro delivers, got him. He got him on the inside corner on a 2-2 pitch. And that's the 3rd for Nuxie, and that'll bring up Ken Oberthel. Ending streak now at 16 games. 1 for 1. He walked, stole a base. and had a single. Ah, okay. Dave from Baseball Demo says Hendricks was one of the first to wear pants down to his shoes in the era of stirrup socks. So he's the one we can blame for that, huh? Pitch from Necro was a little number down to Hubbard over the Chambliss, and that retires the side. Stretch time here in Atlanta. After 6.5, the Braves 3, the Cardinals nothing. And on the 77-degree night for last call, it's important to go get that Budweiser to enjoy the last few innings. So Necro will bat. Phil is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Washington and Hubbard to follow. Knuckleballers are pretty unique. R.A. Dickey was a good one, and so was Tim Wakefield. But they weren't the classic one in the sense like the Necro brothers and the ones before, where you could just eat 140 fly pitches. Wakefield said, I never felt comfortable going more than 105 and 110. You know, it's important to have, as I already told you, Necro stats, it's important to have guys that can eat through 7-8 innings, especially today, but today's knucklers just couldn't do it. Pitch to Phil is strike 3, and the hard got him an 0-2 curve at the knees. 1 out for Washington. So through 27 batters, Andahar 6 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, all earned, including the home run to Horner. He's walked 1 and struck out 2. The walk being Claudel Washington. He's 0 for 2. Yep, Charlie Huff, Tom Candiotti, and you're right, Stephen Wright is a knuckler, and don't get me started on what happened to him. His knee got ruined in a game in Los Angeles because John Farrell used him as a pinch runner against the Dodgers, and he slammed his knee on running to second, and he's never been right. But yeah, Stephen Wright was a knuckler. Andujar's pitch. Forward, a ground ball to Ramsey over to Hernandez. Washington is flying, and Hernandez can't get it. Hernandez dropped the throw. How about that? And so Hubbard is up. Runner on first on a rare error by Keith Hernandez. Oh, I didn't know that either. Candiotti was in 61 as Hoyt Wilhelm. You know, Hoyt, as you know, you were joining Clifton and ID Jester last night on ID's channel, talking about relievers who could throw. In the 64 season, Wilhelm was a starter for the White Sox. Imagine that. So Washington goes. A throw down to Ramsey from Porter is in time. Good throw. He hit the dirt. Ramsey just put the tag right on. 2 out. And a 1-strike count to Hubbard. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to first. Hernandez flips it over to Andujar. And that retires the side. After 7, Atlanta 3. St. Louis nothing. It'll be Ramsey, Andujar's spot, and Lonnie Smith for the Cardinals here in the 8th. Ramsey's 1 for 2. He's got a single. And Steve Braun is going to pinch hit for him. Well, didn't give you Braun's numbers, and anyway, he's got a base hit in the left. Kind of popped that knuckler in there for a Texas leaguer, and that's the 5th hit for the Cardinals. And let's see what they do with Joaquin Andujar. And Orlando Sanchez will pinch hit. Ron, by the way, 273, no homers or RBI. Just in case you were losing any sleep over that, here's Orlando Sanchez. He's 2 for 4 on the year with an RBI. Runner on first, nobody out. Necro delivers, and there's a ground ball to Hubbard. That should be 2. Ramirez for 1 over to Chambliss at first, and it is. That's 2. And so that's the first 27 batters for Phil Necro. In a very tiny 7 2/3 innings. 5 hits, 1 run, no run. He can't obviously be earned. He walked 1 and struck out 3 in 103 pitches. So the fourth time through starts with Lonnie Smith, who's 0 for 3. 2 out, nobody on, top of the 8th. 3-0 Atlanta. Negro working on a shutout. Here's the pitch. Got him! He swung on and missed. And here comes Jim Cott. The pitch. Kitty Cat 2-0 on the year, the 3.65 ERA. The lefty's 14th appearance. He pitched last week at Busch against Atlanta, went an inning, allowed 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 earned runs. Has not allowed a home run, and he walked a batter. So jumping the ERA to 3.65. He got the wins against the Cubs and the Reds. Chambliss actually hits lefties better. 0 for 3. Chambliss, Murphy, and Horner. This is the heart of the Brave lineup. Here in the bottom of the 8th. Pat delivers, and there's a fly ball to right. Back goes Hendrick to the wall. That's off the wall. Chambliss is on the second with a stand-up double. And so here's Dale Murphy. I'm not seeing the eye by up yet. Still feeling the crummy after effects of turning his ankle, but he stays in the game. 2 for 3, a single, double, and scored twice. So Andujar's day is done. 7 innings, 3 runs. We'll get to the rest of that in a minute. Pitch from Cott is a fly ball to left. Org in the corner. He got it. Chambliss will tag and go to third. Org made a fantastic catch. A leaping catch to save a run, if not 2. He didn't rob a homer, but if he misplayed it, that ball was going away for a while. And that brings up Bob Horner. Homered his last time up, 1 for 3. In his 8th homer, now is driven in 25. 3-0 Atlanta, runner on third, 1 out. And the Cardinals are playing back. Ozzie Smith, Keith Hernandez, and George Hendrick due up for the Cards in the 9th. Cott delivers, and there's a shallow fly ball to left. Org comes in. Chambliss will tag. Chambliss is going to run. The throw home from Org is not in time. Didn't even have to slide. Just ran right through home plate. And so it's 4-0. Now 2 out for Wissington. Threw a single twice. 2 for 3 with an RBI. Cott delivers, and there's a fly ball to right. Hendrick makes the catch to retire the side. Negro will try to finish this. A run, a hit, and no errors. We've played 8, Atlanta 4, St. Louis nothing. Wissington will come out. And Rufino Linares will come in. And bat 6th. Now Negro will come in to finish the game. I'm Skip Terry, and as soon as we're done here, a new episode of Andy Griffith, Barney Steals a Pie, then Gomer Pyle, and then the 1,000th showing of Casablanca, all here on TBS tonight following the game. Don't forget WCW Wrestling tomorrow. And Ernie Johnson will give you some stories about why he hates the Boston Red Sox. That's all coming up next, right here on TBS. Not very funny. You know, Clinton asked for that last night. Or asked for that yesterday. Well, I'll do these games, and because of work reasons, he has to watch them on mute. But he specifically asked for his... Yes, it's the world television debut of the colorized version of Casablanca. And then I'll pack for a basketball trip I don't want to go on because it means I'm going to miss a Braves game. It does look good for the Braves. Here's Ozzie Smith. He's 1 for 3. I don't think we'll have the Braves and the Cubs have already played. That's Harry's first year. I bet just for giggles I might throw one of those in there to see if I can do an inning of Harry and Skip together. I won't be able to talk afterwards, but we'll try it. Ozzie's 1 for 3, and they're going to pinch hit for him. Gene Tennis at 318, a homer and 2 RBI. Oh no, you didn't. That was awesome. That was awesome. So Negro, like I said, hopes to finish this out. Pitch to Tennis is ball 4. Now, if the Cardinals come back to win this game, cards and letters to Clinton. So here's Hernandez. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Tennis is not a threat to steal on first. Pitch from Negro is a fly ball right center. Murphy has it tracked down and makes the catch. Tennis will hold. And here's George Hendrick. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And the making of the colorization of Casablanca will happen as soon as Ramirez turns this double play. Parker-Roba goes out to talk with Negro. And the pitch.
Strike 3.
Oh, I'll take the strikeout instead. Okay, I can't do any more split carries. Swung on and missed strike 3, and so it's down to the last chance for the Cardinals. My wife is in the other room going, what in the world is he doing? So Negro throwing a 5-hitter. Here's Org. I wonder if they will pinch hit for him. 0 for 3, grounded into a double play. Uh-oh. Was there a freeze frame there for a moment? I try to forget Chip at every possible opportunity. Fisted! There's your Chip impression. Julio Gonzalez will pinch hit for Org. Tonight, Red Sox and Royals, 7 o'clock, our regularly scheduled prime time game. Julio at 314, no homers and 2 RBI. I did plug the WCW. Now, if Clinton was watching this, Skip once said that Jacques Cousteau was warming up in the TBS bullpen. That's great. You know, Skip is my kind of homer. He clearly loved the Braves, and that was what he wanted to do. But he certainly, if someone was dogging it for Atlanta, he told you all about it. And if someone else made a good play, he told you about it too. Unlike, Hawk Harrelson or the Nationals announcers. Pitch from Negro. Gonzalez hits this one into left. It's going to drop in front of Linares. And Tennis scoots over to third. And so Negro will face Daryl Porter. He's 1 for 3 with a strikeout. Negro's now, he's sucking on fumes. You get the 3 Stooges shorts during the rain delays. Don't you know that? Pitch to Porter. Ball 4. And Joe Torre's going to have to come get him. Negro is not happy as Torre makes a slow walk. But the red-hot Overfell, look, stats are fun, but you got to win these games. And so here comes Gene Garber. This is now a save situation. And it's true that John Sterling got to start with the Braves on TV. And actually, no. You know what? That's not true. He was in New York in the 70s and called Islander hockey on the radio and on television. And hosted a call-in show on WMCA in the 70s. Someone will tell me if he did anything with the Mets. And then in the 80s, he was hired by Turner when they first started to expand. He worked with Pete Johnson, or Ernie Johnson, and Pete Van Wieren worked with Skip Carey. And then he went to the Yankees. And I didn't know that Roger Clemens was in Cobb. All right. So Garber is in 2-2. He's looking for a second save on the year. 1.23 the ERA. This is his 9th relief appearance. His lone save came against Houston on the 18th. He did not pitch against the Cardinals last weekend in St. Louis. His last appearance was Wednesday in Chicago, where he went 2 innings. 14 and 2/3 innings, 12 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He's walked 1 and struck out 1. And with them loaded, it is a save situation. Overfell is not a home run hitter. He has a 0.2 chance of hitting one here, but he's got a 1.8% chance of hitting a triple. Garber rocks and deals. Got him! The game is over. Swung on and missed. And Atlanta will win this one 4-0. What a clutch pitch by Garber. And Obergefell chased one. That's how you do it. Atlanta goes to 17-16. Larry Wisenton, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, singled home Dale Murphy in the fourth to make it 1-0. Then Bob Horner hit a towering shot down the line and left to make it 3-0 in the sixth. His sac fly made it 4-0 in the eighth. And so Phil Niekro couldn't get the complete game, but he goes 8 2/3 of solid pitching for the win. 6 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, 1-1 on the year. Gene Garber struck out Ken Obergefell with the bases loaded for the save. Walking into Har 7 innings, but gets the loss. 3 earned runs, 8 hits, a walk, and struck out 2. Your MVP is Phil Niekro, and it took us 2.5 hours to play this. So, Al's not here. How you doing, Bobby? I am on tonight, Clinton. Yes, he didn't. Caught me a lot of money on selling Coke. That was right. How you doing, Bobby? Yeah, 7 o'clock tonight. Red Sox and Royals from Kansas City. That's our Saturday game of the week. And because I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, no regularly scheduled daytime stream. Smash that like button like it's the girl of your dreams. I'm Ron Juckett for Retro Sports Network. We'll talk to you tonight at 7 for more baseball. Until then, I'm doing just fine, Bobby. We'll talk to you later.